Hey, Lucky Sixes. I'm Hyper G.
Yo, yo, yo.
It's PTG, Battle Report time. Proxy Table Gaming. Let's do it. It's Massacre.
Mate, it is Massacre. It is round
you
one.
Teased the Massacre.
I've teased. We've obviously gone through your round one with
which
the
was
Dread Elves.
not really a massacre. It was kind of like a
Yeah.
standoff in the end, but threatened to be a massacre at any point.
Oh my days, we have the potential for a massacre in this one because if I can do it, we have the Saurians versus my Warriors. So here we are, Battle 233. Map B1 for people, and
I didn't mention
escape the Veil.
Yeah, it's like a tournament map pack, but slightly adjusted, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's just Paul basically picking, as we said in the last video, it's like an online tournament using UB and Warhol. Just so happens we've used Warhol so far for all of them. With Paul picking the best of all the online tournaments previous from his point of view. So it's 5,000 points. Escape the Veil is this one here. So deployment is just your frontline clash, but with loads of objectives which can keep coming up and up and up. So lots of things to keep on track of, and we'll try and keep you updated as we go along for that. But a quick little pause and a read from yourselves on that front. In terms of
what were you taking?
My Warriors list now. I don't like to. I don't want to phrase this really.
You gotta be careful. Yeah.
So, I don't like to spend ages and ages and ages online, which is odd.
You don't,
considering I have a YouTube channel.
You like a good dice rolling, and you like tabletop. You're not hugely the online guy.
We've had a few.
Battles.
I mean, there's definitely a few stories of it, but there's also a few experiences of having 4 or 5 hour battles that. I just
6 or 7 hour battles.
My ADHD attention span just cannot withhold. So,
and you don't like doing battles in 2 stints either. Like
no,
you need to finish a battle in one go.
Yeah, but that's more of my keeping my concentration for it. Well, I guess again, because I have lots of thoughts while we're going and while the opponent's doing stuff. And then if I have a break, I sleep and I'm a blank slate.
That's a reset button.
Yeah. So. It catches me out sometimes.
So that was your motivation and thought going into this, wasn't it?
Yeah, however, I'm not going to as many tournaments, I don't think, this year because of holidays and being able and life getting back to, we hope, some sort of normality. So I do have a few, don't worry. But I wanted to keep the momentum going of our Art of War as well. So that's why I went in. And of course, keeping content for you guys, you're welcome. So, with that in mind, I chose Warriors because I know Warriors quite well. I didn't want to try anything
but
new.
You did try a different list. Right?
But I tried a different list, and I like the Chosen. And
you do.
5,000 points screamed out to me that 3 lots of Chosen probably could work, and that's what we tried. So I'm not going to lie. I wanted 3 lots of Chosen, so they were my first things. There were different iterations of it going into it. I asked around for some advice of people, and
certain very qualified person.
It's very qualified. Well, 2 actually. I asked Craig and Tanker specifically,
superstars of the 9th Age world,
for comments on my previous list, and then I sort of played them off against each other. However, I do have a bit of a story. So I was playing them off. I was like, completely separately, going, what do you think of this list? And they were both giving me pointers on what to change.
Craig just said, "Where's your Gorgons?"
Well, Tanker came in first. Well, and he said that and Centaurs, and not enough Centaurs. But he came in, and Tanker came in first, and he said, "Right, I think you could. You're Chosen at the time. I had like banners on everything. He was like, just keep them simple like that. You need a big block because I was going to go 3 lots of 10 warriors.
Sure.
Yeah. So he was like, get a big block in and use these characters. So I was like, okay. I made it into a list. And I sent it over to Craig. I was like, this is my new iteration. What do you think? And Craig comes back to me and goes, I'd probably ask Tanker if I were you because it looks a lot like his list from...
Told you. Busted.
Like, I can't even...
Yeah, it's a Tanker list.
Yeah. So very much so. So 3 Chosen Lords, 3 chosen units. However, the chosen lords all have greed, which means they have to go in the big warriors bunker. Which is
Okay,
why
is that a problem, or is that
so
something you knew about going in?
Oh, I know about going in. And we talked again. I talked about a bit of tactics because I wouldn't normally use this chosen lord setup.
No, not at all.
This is where other people's thing came into. I know because I've never used the dark prelate, which is all the pound spell stuff. So very interesting there. But I did have 3 chosen lords, but they weren't quite nearly enough killy and tanked up. So this is what we came with: 2 on wardeers and 1 on foot with the burn important. Is how I'll mention them. I've got Sorcerer Adepts just for some Evo rerolls, which means basically I've got Rod of Battle, which is +1 to hit. I've got 2 lots of the rerolls to wound, 1 lot of rerolls to hit. Usually, anyway, this obviously could change with magic setup. And I've got the 5-up Aegis. So
yeah,
essentially, we'll see how that goes. But
it's all very one-dimensional, isn't it?
Very one-dimensional
damage.
And very quick, which is what I wanted. So at least from my point of view, I'll have 10-minute turns and we'll get done. So drawn against me in the first round was a very interesting Saurian Warlord double alpha.
It's so good. Boxy kind of has a little bit of a habit of doing that, doesn't he?
He does. This isn't his first rodeo with that sort of thing. He actually said the main change from 4,500 to 5,000 is that he's actually got some magic now.
The little skink priests.
He just threw a skink priest and up to obviously the core. So that's his big change to his normal list. Very, very mobile. Going into it, the alphas actually with the D3 wounds are actually a really good counter to chosen.
That is true.
It's very dicey both ways, but if he can clip one of my chosen units and get something else in, my chosen are basically toast because of the D3. So really
looking at the mobility side of things, his Saurian warriors at movement 5 because of Serpent are actually the slowest there. And I mean, for infantry to be movement 5 isn't slow. So everything else is quicker than that. It's pretty nifty.
Yeah, so he's basically got one big block with loads of little things all moving around, but he's got loads of little things moving around and all high movement, which is really cool. Interestingly, the Stygiosaur's Toxic Breath, I've got the only Aegis against Toxic ever in the game, the most niche Aegis. So that'll be fun as well, see if that comes up. But really I was really happy to play it. And I was really interested to play it and see how Boxy would play it against me as well. Because I was like, well, if either of us gets the charge, we'll get the bonus. But obviously he's got faster units, but can't commit everything. Blah 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 blah. So yeah,
to be honest, once your charge chosen, gulp.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? So over to this is after deployment and Vanguard. So I put down basically to go first. I can't remember. Actually, I think I went first. So I put things in the centre and I didn't want to be in the water basically to march. So
sure.
It was pretty straightfortard. Obviously,
5 drops.
Yeah, right. Well, 6 including characters.
Well,
it's obvious where they're going to go. So, I just dropped. He put down stuff like so. So I've got in my front chosen, Lust Warriors behind, big unit of non-chosen Lord Warriors.
So one of the chosen Lords isn't on a war dice. Is that right?
Yes. So in the middle, in the central unit, you've got Wardares with Dark Prelate on the left, so the Sorcerer Chosen Lord. In the middle of those, because there's only 3 in the front, on foot is the Burn Important Lord, and on the right is the Death Cheater Lord.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So both got greed, but the 2 ones on Wardeers can basically choose a non-magical weapon all the time.
Greed is Weapon Master, is that right?
So you have halberd, pale weapons, and great weapon on top of hand weapon and shield. So
if you buy them separately as well. Yeah.
Yes. Well, no, you get it with the thing.
Oh, you get it with the upgrade.
So with
greed,
greed, you get the weapons.
Get the weapons and weapon master. I'm with you. Yeah.
So, but obviously because they're greed, they can't go in with the wrath chosen. Yeah. So that was my. That's the downfall of that. So that's where I am. From his, as you're watching it left to right, we've got Ramphrodons that have vanguarded up, Skinks warriors, big unit of Raptor riders behind the hill, both Stygiosaurs, smaller unit of Raptor riders, big warriors with Palanquin, 2 alphas right next to each other, which I was hoping he would go separate, but he didn't. He put them together, which does
two lots of multiple wounds. Yeah.
Does make my job a lot harder. Then Skinks, then Raptor riders on the side. You get. It was quite obvious he was going for get into the deployment zone for some extra things, and with the movement probably means I wouldn't be able to get into him very quickly. So that was cool. On to my first turn. I moved up like this. I put my chosen to basically mean he couldn't get easily around me with the. I knew his Ramphrodons would, so it was. I didn't really know how to deal with the Ramphrodons with this infantry list, but chosen into the forest, chosen facing left, just out of the forest, for his if he wanted to come forward with his Stygiosaurs or his big Raptor riders. The warriors didn't. They have the Relentless banner, so they could march up 15, which I was tempted to, but I couldn't quite get to the wall, and I don't fancy getting countercharged by everything.
No.
There's only so much I can deal.
The only problem you've got with that is, yes, you don't want to get countercharged by everything, but you've got no shooting and no ranged magic. So you're gonna have to deal with everything at some point.
So I basically wanted him to move up so that I had a chance of him making a mistake, maybe, or
you wanted to pick the battles rather than letting him pick.
But if I had gone second, I mean, I don't think he would have just one dropped me until he goes second. But it gives him a chance to be aggro against me, and I don't need that. So the chosen on the right just sort of move up. Again, it was as much as they could, but with a harder wheel, and to not allow any charges on them. Basically, I'm not bothered about the Skinks and the guy. They can get the objective. That's fine. We'll go with it. On to magic, and I get rerolls to hit off. I think on the left, because that's spectral blades. I get.
Are you keeping 3 in the Val pool?
Yes.
So in your first turn, because there's not much chance that he's going to charge you. Sure.
I can't remember if I'm honest.
You've got a lot off, so maybe not.
It makes sense. Well, actually, I was saying this. This one, I got the number 8. Thing. Okay. I think I did save 3, and then obviously got a 4.
Still got some spells off.
He just let off all my magic.
Well, he probably knows he's not going to charge you.
I did the 5 pages first, and he went, "Yeah, you can have it." I did the others. I did the one on the right. He said, "Yeah, you can have it." I did the one on the left. He said, "Yeah, you can have it." I was like, "That's one of them Trent power plays." That is.
I don't care what you do.
You can have all your magic. I don't care.
Oh, nice.
So that was interesting.
That was brain power you're not getting back.
Yeah, well, it was, yeah. But it was quite quick. So that was my first turn. Onto his turn, and he sort of starts to envelop and move around, not really giving me any charges. It looks
like you've moved as well.
In fact, actually, this is onto my turn 2, which is how quick it went. He basically backed off and spread around, which is
makes sense.
Used his maneuverability. This is me on the left. I think making a long charge. Oh no, I think I just moved forward. And again, I'm fairly tentative because I don't want to get multi-charged by everything.
No.
If any of my units get multi-charged by everything, then I'm kind of in a bit of a trouble.
Especially if there's no direct counter-charge that you planned.
Yeah, exactly. So on the left, move up because I'm not too worried about any of that counter-charging me, and his Raptor Riders aren't on the hill, they're behind it. So if he goes in with both Stygiosaurs, I'll probably kill one, if not both. So
probably, yeah.
I'm happy with that. He's moved the Ramphrodons right round, so my Lust Warriors are just there going, okay, well, we'll try and zone you as much as possible. My big unit warriors move up slightly. I want to leave him a long charge with the one on the right, so I can't, with his alpha on the right, sorry. so I can't move up too aggressively. But I'm getting a bit more aggressive with the Chosen in the centre, out of the forest, because I want him to charge me now at some point. I can't leave it too long. He hasn't got any range stuff really himself. So it is a case of we need to get in combat, and he can move around and get the charges. I don't want to leave any easy flank charges or anything like that because of the objective, apart from the skinks, who I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, because I've just 3 points for killing them after they charge.
Yeah. So that's basically what it is. Again, it's just a case of moving up. I get all the spells off, and he lets them all off again. So
again, okay. That tells you his mindset,
his thing, really. And again, this is on to my turn 3. So this is how quickly his turns are happening, basically. So before we get onto the charges and the things here, he moves up out on the left-hand side. He backs off with the big raptors. The skinks are just there because they're fine. The Stygiosaurs are both out of my line of sight, which I can't do much about. I'm infantry and he's movement 14.
Exactly.
Single models. I can't do much about. I actually don't mind too much because they're not breathing on me or anything like that. So, his Ramphrodons go right down, and I, as you can see, I will be charging. It's a fairly long charge, but I figure if I get the charge, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. I'm guessing his skinks on his right, our left as we look at it, they have enough movement to literally 12 inches into the
but it doesn't matter.
Got his raptors.
It doesn't matter because his raptors are in there getting it anyway. So he's got that anyway. Again, he is starting to part ways with his alphas though, which I'm actually a little bit happy with, really. Because even at this point, I sort of realise even if he goes in multi-charges with one of the alphas into my Chosen, I'll get enough combat res probably not to worry too much about him hurting my Chosen back.
Yeah.
So, I probably realise a bit too late that even if those guys do go in, I can just kill the rest of stuff. So, there's that. In his turn, he's just backing off really. And staying away. In my turn,
got, spell 5. That's the resilience buff on his Saurian warriors.
Yes, he has.
And you're obviously about to charge into it.
So he goes from 4 to 6. So he did that thinking. I mean, he's moved back as far as he can and given himself the best chance. Basically, I had the chance to stop either that or the regen, and I stopped regen.
Sure. Yeah.
Basically, it was where it's at. And with that, I charge him. I need to get in combat. I know there's going to be counter charges, but if I can get some spells
it's with
off,
your small unit, though, isn't it? So in some ways, there might be an expendable kamikaze.
Yeah, sure. If I can get some spells off, I should be able to get through that quite nicely, you know. I also charge the Lust Warriors because if I get the charge, I'm a higher agility, I think, or the same agility. I'm not sure.
You're probably one higher, I would have thought.
I'm not sure. I think I'm agility 4 to start with.
What, on the charge?
No. Off the. But yeah.
So you're
whatever it is.
It
works out better if I charge, and I'm not going to get a better opportunity than this. I think I need a 9 or a 10.
Yeah, no, they'll be gone if you leave it any longer.
So, and I can't get. I try and work out if there's any way I can get out, and I just can't. So, fair play. It's a bit of a Hail Mary for them.
He's block-toaded them. Toad Rage.
Yes, the blue tokens are block-toaded, but I don't expect him to go into the middle one.
No.
Unfortunately, I fail charge. With everything, and I move up like this. So I just move up so that there's no hard target, but there is distracting on the thing. So I'm less bothered about his stuff coming into my big unit. My Chosen they leave a rear because I think I'll kill him as much as I do with the Stygiosaur. So that's right. My Lust Warriors have nothing else to do, and my Chosen just sort of turn around, not wanting to give his big guy. Big guy is a big charge, short charge rather. I get 2 spells off, both on that Chosen unit, so I'm pretty happy.
Is he trying to stop you now?
Yes. So he lets the 5 of Ages go off, and the rerolls to hit. I think he tried to stop But I'm doing like 2-3 dice on everything, so I've got a decent chunk of dice and things like that at it. So that's where we're at. On to his turn, and he backs off with everything apart from the Ramphadons.
Scatter. Okay,
yes.
Yeah, they've gone for it.
So
I like that. It's just ballsy, but
yeah. Well, with the block toad, he just needs a probably average to above average thing, slightly above, to just wipe them out. So we'll see what that is. Apart from that, he's just moving around. So he is a scatter. Move back as much as possible. He's even reformed with his big warriors.
I thought the Dreadnoughts would go behind the rock as well.
They're just making them way back to safety, really, is what they're trying to do. Stygisaurs get out of line of sight again. That's going to happen every single time they turn around.
Absolutely,
so I've got to think of a way of doing something with them. And obviously he wants to get into both flanks if he can. So we'll see what I do there. From his point of view, he gets the resilience one off again. But he also gets Shamanism, Awaken the Beast on the Ramphadons, which that's going to help.
I mean, what strength are your unit?
He's now strength 5, AP 3, and I'm res 4. So I've only got a 6-up save to any of his attacks. I think he's going first because he's the one charging.
Like you say, it depends on the extra attacks and the rerolls. I favour the Ramphadons there.
Yeah, especially with the spell. But otherwise that's where it's at. In the combat, this is before.
Nice.
This is after.
I was going to say,
It wasn't. I think he did 10. To be fair, wounds to him, and it just. I mean, it was just. It is.
The thing is, if that's a unit chosen, then you still have 5 warriors, 5 chosen left to attack, and the Ramphadons die.
Yeah,
but he's picked his target well there.
Absolutely, and he cornered me down and left me just enough to charge and all that.
Charge,
he played me there. So onto my turn. I take a long charge with the chosen on the right into his skinks. I think I need a 10. My thinking is if I can kill them, it's a scoring unit, and I'm out of all the
the carnasaur,
out of all the line of sights. If I fail, I just turn to face, which is
no different than where you are now.
He'll have a longish charge with the skinks, and if his guy wants to go in alone, by all means, go in alone.
Those skinks are never going in.
Otherwise, at the centre, I charge both in. Now's the time. I've just got to keep charging into that unit. That's the one I focus on. There's nothing coming from the left to countercharge, and on the right, if I can do enough wounds here, then he just won't charge in. So there's that. Only my chosen get in, which is unfortunate for me. So that will be tougher, and I'm going to need some spells off to make sure. But it's not terrible. And the chosen on the right don't get in. They roll like 2 or something like that. So they're just not up for it. The chosen on the left give the rear to the bottom Stygisaur and give the front to the Raptors and the Stygisaur. There's not much else I can do apart from turning to face and just letting him charge me. I'm thinking he hasn't by now, so why would he? So I'm happy just for them just to, I guess, do what
do the dance.
I get the Aegis and the rerolls to hit off. Rerolls to wound. This is rerolls to wound because I doubled down on rerolls to wound. I put the Aegis on them first.
Oh right, okay, fair enough.
This is after combat, so let's go before and after.
Killed the load.
I mean, loads of it. I lost 7, and he lost a bunch, but is steadfast and held. So I kind of take that. I am going second now, though. Obviously, with chosen great weapon chaps being now great weapon because it's only the first round. But he doesn't have the +1 to hit at least, so there's that. You might have done an extra wound, whatever. But this is after combat and reforming. Reforming.
Going into his turn, so I guess he's got a potential counter charge if he wants.
Yes.
If he wants
but I do have the spells off at least, so there's that. This is his turn.
No,
there is no counter charge with anything. He's
not.
continuing that game, which is the right stuff. Is
Absolutely.
right play. He even makes a play with a Stygia sword to go onto my central unit as well. That is what it is. But yeah, continues the avoidance, which is it was really interesting. And yeah, he was playing it really well, and not even I wouldn't even say cagey because he's still putting threats on me, but just wait. We're both waiting for each other to make mistakes, genuinely, and so far it's not happening.
No.
I don't know what that was. It's just like extra movement, I think. So at the top, I haven't got an action shot, but if you look at the top, I take very minimal wounds. So I've got, I think I took like 3 wounds or something this time around. He doesn't get any spells off apart from Oaken Throne. I think he had the number 1 flux for this one. From my point of view, he was still steadfast though, but failed the steadfast and ran off. And unfortunately, I let him go and turned to face here. Now this is potentially, and I don't want to hindsight it too much, but potentially one of my first mistakes. But I won't say why. We'll come on to that later.
Okay.
But that's at the end of combat and at the end of his turn. At the end of my turn, so I charged the Chosen into his palanquin, needing a 9.
Right.
The unit 5. I failed that. But it left me like this. I then moved up as aggressively as I could with the warriors to try and pin in his palanquin and Alpha. Again, we'll leave it like that. The Chosen turn round to face the Alpha, not worrying too much about anything else. And the Chosen on the left don't care about the Stygia swords charging in the rear and want a fight. They really want to fight now.
They really do.
You charge my rear. Raptors can charge my front. Someone fight me, man. Someone fight me. But it's also
just saying no.
Yeah, it's also a bit of a play. I'm trying to get that impression, but I want that small unit as well.
Sure. Yeah.
So we'll see what I can do with that. I'm trying to push them a little bit more. On magic, I get some spells off on these in case he wants to come in. So do what you do.
Yeah.
And he doesn't charge me with anything.
No.
And he uses movement that he has to basically move like this. Stygia swords come into the centre. Now his raptors move like that to be out of line of sight, and the smaller raptors move out of line of sight. So again, out of line of sight, his movement's just too high. His skinks move down. His Alpha from the bottom comes into the top, so he's kind of pinning me in now. So again, like I said, he's not making any mistakes whatsoever, and is keeping me at bay.
And you don't really have the model count to cover every zone with your line of sight, so you can get out of the line of sight. Yeah,
no, for sure. He gets, I forget what 4 is.
Summer Growth, isn't it? No, it's not. On Shamanism.
Is it
Savage
Swarm?
Fury.
Oh, Savage Fury. Well, he gets that off. I think I let it go. There might be the attribute, actually, looking at it. I think that's attribute, because he does get Shamanism +1.
So it can only be wounded on 5s with Shamanism.
Yeah, he chooses the res one, though, for this, so he's res 7 now. So
he's boosting the carnasaur and getting the attribute on the Stygia. Yeah.
That's what's happening. But yeah, and again, probably my second mistake. I haven't referred to the first one yet, but the second mistake is that he is completely out of my line of sight with the Warriors unit.
Yeah, that Warriors unit is doing nothing.
Which is very frustrating from my point of view, because something we'll come on to later, I guess, is that I could and probably should have moved the Greed Warriors, the Greed guys out at this point to take on his unit, and that gives me, single models wise, gives me a bit of movement myself, which probably should have done, but haven't.
Sure.
So on to here. I don't see any way of getting the Chosen out. So let's go for it. Let's go.
Yeah, I was going to say there's not a lot of hope attached to that challenge.
No.
I don't think.
But if I get some magic off and get some re-rolls and stuff like that, then anything can happen. Yeah,
definitely.
I just need to kill him before he kills me. Basically, is the thing.
Yeah.
And I've got 12 attacks currently to do it. He's got, I want to say 6 wounds.
I hope so. I've never played an alpha.
Yeah, it's at least 5, but probably 6.
I think it's 6.
Maybe more. So there, they get in. The Chosen on the right. I'm actually pretty happy that I'm going to get something on the Chosen on the left. Sorry.
Okay.
But again, he's got so much movement. We will see on that front point of view. But I'm just trying to keep him in there as much as possible.
Yeah.
Warriors just turn round because. You know what? At the end of the day, charge me in the flanks. Go on, I dare you. I just need you to charge me. God damn it! I need you to charge me. I think at this point I'm getting not frustrated because it wasn't that a frustrating game.
You were probably just like, well, what can I do?
Yeah. So I was allowing a few of these things just so that he would go into me. Is my hope.
He knows better than that.
But yes, well, we'll see. I get +1 to hit, which always helps, which now means I'm hitting on 2s. But he stops the rerolls to wound, which is rightfully so.
It's big, yeah.
And I do 3 wounds.
Not bad.
But he obliterates me.
Of course.
Mainly because of the multiple wounds, but also the stomp and stuff like that. So I'm pleased that he's down to 3 wounds. It means that I don't see him as much of a threat anymore.
No, he's not going to join the attack and the risk of dying to it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not half points, it's not anything. So
no, that's him done.
Nice
dinosaur picture.
Yes, and he turns around, but he does go in.
He doesn't.
He does. He goes in. Obviously, maximising so that my warriors. It's only my warriors he's going up against.
Oh, okay.
I think this is his turn 6.
Oh, well, you say he's going in. He's going in with the wounded alpha.
With the wounded alpha, yeah.
Oh, so right, okay. I thought you meant he's going in with everything.
No. But it is his turn 6, so there isn't a round after this.
Sure.
So and what this does do. So what has happened so far?
Objective-wise,
we both got into the deployment zone. We've both got a scoring unit.
Yeah.
So we're drawing. Him charging.
And is that it? It's literally 1-1.
It's 2-2.
2-2.
Or 3-3. I think getting into deployment zones is 2. This tops it because he's now flank charge, which I kind of forgot about in doing it, but also means that because this is his round 6, as long as he survives, he should be alright. And I'm only strength 4 and stuff, so it's not like I'm getting anything. And this is where it ends. So he does that many wounds to me. Oh my goodness!
Nice. Could you have duelled him out or anything like that?
So probably is the answer.
I was going to say, surely he can't decline a duel.
I don't think I did, and I cannot for the life of me.
You would have had a champion.
Believe why? I would have had a champion.
So you could have. I mean, you still lose the objective because the chances are you don't kill him, but.
I can't think why I didn't. I honestly can't.
The Chosen Lord offered a duel?
Yeah.
And he could have declined it, but then he just wouldn't have attacked.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's not terrible for him because he's only doing it to get the objective.
This is it. So let's say that's what would have happened.
But yeah, you've lost a lot of warriors.
Because I honestly I can't remember challenging him. I can't remember that coming up, and I don't understand why I wouldn't think that, but I didn't. He gets in, he wins the objective, let's say 3-2 or whatever it is by 1, and that's it. So he doesn't get any points for this unit, but he doesn't need to. He's got the objective.
Nearly did. Another round of combat he would have done.
Well, another round. I'm turning around and smashing him up, mate. But But yeah,
at least you held.
I mean, if he did, so he would have charged and flanked. If it had failed, if it had declined, then I would have got my attacks against him. I would have done nothing because that's what's shown. And I would have had 3 ranks and a banner.
So you'd have won by 2. He wouldn't have been steadfast. He would. I assume he's general.
So it was absolutely the right play to
cold-blooded 6. Yeah,
to challenge him out. And I don't know why I didn't. And I don't know why it didn't come up. perhaps we just went on.
You can challenge to the flank, can't you?
Yeah, you can't make way, but you can challenge. So, yeah. Perhaps I was getting confused. It was getting a bit later, I guess, at this point.
Sure.
But yeah. I
this
don't know.
Was a long battle for your quick battle.
Yeah.
Objective, wasn't
2.5 hours, this one. But yeah, so... So yeah, that's how it ended up. In the end, was a 14-6 on the objective. So 11-9, just pipped it for points because my warriors are more than his Saurians. And I don't know why that was. Was it that much more? 730. Oh, and I lost the Lust warriors, obviously.
Yeah.
As well. So.
You lost the Chosen and a warrior. He lost the Saurians, and that's it, really. I guess. Yeah.
So
I think Proxy played that well.
I think he played it very, very well.
I don't think you played badly by any means.
No. So
your
one
mistake.
So let's go back to this picture.
It's obviously the small unit of Chosen.
So small unit of Chosen. So there were other mistakes in the. I don't think I used my big unit of warriors and greed Chosen, etc. Very well. The other two Chosen I'm not too bothered about. I guess the Lust Warriors were never going to win that battle, so maybe that's a thought for another day. But at this point, this is after I've reformed to face right, I think.
Yeah.
What I should have done was reform to face left.
Absolutely.
And marched up there and really honed down on
those raptors. Yeah.
Raptors, really.
At least one of them. You might not have got both, but you'd have stopped one of them, I think.
The alternative to, even if I hadn't got anything, even if I'd done that and he just runs away left or something, is that I keep that unit.
Yeah.
So this is me going for some
big points
in generals and stuff like that over being smart.
Points.
Yeah, I think. So there we go, and that's probably what it was, because 5 Chosen can take all of them. On the left, they can take the big unit of 9 raptors. They can take it all.
Well, he only will be trying to get away.
Yeah. And I think I chose this because I saw a 9 into his palanquin.
I mean, if that pays off, then it's beautiful, obviously.
Yeah. But yeah, it is what it is. It was a good battle. Nice to play Boxy. It's our first match from what I can remember.
Oh, really? Boxy's a good lad.
And he's a really, really good lad. And it ended up Boxy win 14-6 on Warhol. So thanks very much to Boxy for that. And it was a good game. Very tactical. And safe to say, he outplayed me. It was okay, so he did very, very well. A few things I could have done better, perhaps with playing a new list. Is what I'll say. I'll take all the excuses I can. But yeah, he definitely outplayed me and deserved the win.
Yeah, it looks like basically he assessed your capabilities correctly, really, and used them against you, i.e. the lack of mobility and
for sure.
The minimal line of sight. Obviously, if you've got a Chosen Lord out of a unit, then that gives you a whole extra zone that you're covering, doesn't it? But yeah, cool. All right, well, give us some comments on that. We are in different groups in Massacre, so we're not directly opposing one another. You're on 6 in your group, I'm on 8. But, obviously that is losses to begin with.
Yeah.
But, still 3 more rounds with which to get into the top 2. You only need to get into the top 2. You don't need to win your group. So, all to play for. Don't forget, like, share and subscribe, give us all comments, and join Patreon. We would love you forevermore. More and more. We'll see where we go in round 2, which will be coming up next week.
Absolutely. No, I'm looking forward to it. And and bring on the online goodness.
Definitely.
See you later.